We're always hearing through one medium or another about someone who's running off to find themselves or discover who they really are. And I think that's great, wanting to dedicate your time and energy into being the best that you can be. But it's not very realistic, in my opinion. I don't believe that it's possible to discover who you are in a month, let alone like 1 year, a season of life, even. I think that as we grow older and more mature and hopefully a little bit wiser, we'll gradually discover who we are piece by piece. Because we aren't everything we are all at once. How can you be the same person you were a year ago? You can't. As we accumulate more experiences and memories, it changes who you are. I'm not the same person that I was in Roy City. I'm different. I've discovered a part of myself. Some of it good and some of it not so good, but that's okay. So before I go into explaining more about how I personally have changed, I kind of want to gloss over our semester and just kind of talk about the most important things that have happened.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is this room 305. We nicknamed it the Forest. And we've had some amazing conversations in this room. And I know you can see from one of the pictures, Katie Miranda and I, we took our beds in here, and we've done this a couple of nights throughout the semester, and we just sleep in here. And so we're able to stay up, and we've watched House and D or something like that. We've talked about all kinds of things. We talked about God, ourselves, our problems, like just everything that could have happened in this room has pretty much happened. And so I wrote a poem about it one night when we were having mind yoga, which is just something we kind of called it at night, which is just deep conversation. And so I had to leave and grab my computer, and this is the poem I wrote. Room 305. The yellowed peeling paint, the pocked dented sheetrock. If these walls could speak, what would they say? Would they speak of beautiful thoughts, of euphoric moments, of glorious victories, or would they speak of the darkest nights of despair, eternities of self-hatred, decades of tragedy? If these walls could speak, what would they say? The dark, shaggy carpet, the indented, depressed floor. If the ground could speak, what would it say? Would they speak of the heroic journeys, of the magnificent travels and destinations, of the pilgrimage of all those who have been there before, or would they speak of horrible mishaps, terrible secrets, and dark, twisted pathways? If the ground could speak, what would it say? The memories hidden, locked away within the bones of our structure, if they could be reached, what would we uncover? Would we discover the key to ourselves, learn the flaws and strengths of humanity? Would we reveal the lessons learned, the mistakes committed, the solution to situation? But if we could attain the knowledge guarded by the foundations of this world, what would we have left to master? We would never know the intense struggle of loving again after being broken by the one we trusted the most. We would never feel the sublime awe of holding a new, unblemished life in our hands. We would never know the splendor of discovering the presence of the Lord all around us. We would never know. It's best to leave this knowledge untouched, to learn, discover, reveal, and conceive the awe of the world one moment at a time, little by little, so that we may best understand the vast consciousness around us. Okay, so now this is a video that was taken on the GoPro whenever we went to Big Bend, and that trip was phenomenal. It was one of the best parts of the semester for me. I loved getting to know everyone and spending all those hours on the road, in the tent, on the campsite, just all together. That was the first time I think that really as a whole group, both the guys and the girls and the upperclassmen, got to really understand each other and like actually talk. But the best part of the trip, in my opinion, was whenever it was at night and we would get to just look up at the stars and worship together. And it was just an amazing experience, like being surrounded by the desert and the stars and just feeling the Lord all around us. And this next video is a part that we took on the way back. And I have to say, I think that this explains our group fairly well. Okay, these next pictures are of Landon and Gage as they're singing, because before they performed at Interact over homecoming, they started a band, and Katie and I were able to come up with the name of the Insurrectionists, and so they asked me to be like their band manager or something like that. So like I designed a flyer, I kind of helped them print out with like lyrics and do stuff like that. And I don't know, that was a big part at the beginning of the semester for me, just because it was new. It was something for me to kind of get involved in and a way for me to encourage those around me. And these next couple of pictures, they're just pictures of like Miranda and Katie and I at the game. I think it was the homecoming game actually. And then just kind of the girls as a group, because I just want to talk about the involvement they've had with the change that has happened to me. And it's everyone else has helped too, but their support and just their friendship this semester has really meant a lot to me. And I think it's helped me kind of come out of my shell, because back in high school, I was really, really shy. People made me nervous. I didn't want to talk to people about anything serious. I didn't want to mess up and say something wrong. I just didn't really take the time to form those really deep friendships because I was honestly afraid. But since I've come to college and been surrounded by this amazing group of people, it's been great. I feel heard and I feel safe in the fact that I can say what I want to say, and they're not going to laugh at me, they're not going to judge me, they're going to really listen and take what I have to say into consideration. And that's been a huge thing, and I've just really appreciated that a lot. Okay, and so now this is a time lapse of the drive to Dean's that I took a little while ago. And so I just wanted to say that I have really loved coming to Dean's, and I was being able to talk with Mama Dawson and Dean and everyone else around. It's been phenomenal just to be able to really get to know everybody, and it was just another thing that contributed to my semester, and it's probably the thing that I've been the most grateful for.
Okay, and so on kind of that same note of how much I've changed, being surrounded by everyone that has like such high hopes for what they want to do in the future, and just their love for God and like what He has planned for their life, it's inspiring, really. I've always really wanted to be in the medical profession. That's never like a surprise to me or my family or anyone that's known me for any period of time, really. But I didn't really know how I wanted to use that or how I thought God wanted to use that for me. But once I met like Kenna and Tori with their own nonprofit, and just like everyone else that has like such these like high dreams and hopes, it really made me realize what I wanted to do. I've already changed my major twice, from athletic training to nonprofit management to nursing, and I think nursing is really the best thing for me. It's going to allow me to do so much that I want to do, and that's really, medical missions is where my heart is. It's really what I want to do. And so the next thing that I want to read is actually another poem I wrote towards the beginning of the semester, and this was when I really was able to acknowledge that medical missions was where I wanted to be. So this poem is titled Brokenness. Under the stars, I sit and listen to the chords of the universe. I breathe in the sound of lamenting souls and feel their mourning. It rushes through me, consuming my thoughts and dominating my emotions, as I feel the grievances of the spirits and the enormity of fragmentation. We are broken, shards of what we could be, destroyed by our fellow man. I collapse as I fully bear the weight of humanity upon my fragile consciousness. Then I am breathing again, and I return to myself, and the flames of passion and determination burn through my veins, alighting a desire to be all that I can. I will be the listening ear that hears, the hand that heals, and the feet that join the sojourners, to behold the misery of the earth, and to know that we are all shattered, destroyed by our fellow man, but whom that is broken can again be made whole. We are woven together, connected through the thread of despair and dejection. We do not stand alone. We are one, united against the common enemy of defeat and hopelessness. But should one stand up and become the lighthouse that which love and grace shine through, we can be victorious over the darkness that hunts us, that feeds upon us, and pierce through the shadowed veil that shrouds our eyes.